Oh, we've been talking about the tax inversion quite a bit. One of the things that strikes me is, ironically, with the Treasury trying to change its rules, it may have given them a safe harbor. It may have told them exactly how to structure the thing so they wouldn't come afoul of it.
Yeah, the Treasury's move last week really didn't do anything to derail this deal at all. And the Treasury even said, they were very clear, they said if we need anything that could stop inversions really needs to be done by Congress. So that was laid out pretty early last week. And perhaps there was some tinkering around the edges, but this deal was pretty much well and done. And they pushed it out to get it done ahead of the holiday, which is what we had expected. And it looks as though Treasury didn't really get in the way of anything.
David, what's your take on this?
You know, it's funny. Last time you had me on the show, we talked about this same thing, and I think, you know, I came up with the basic storyline that I have with all of these, which is that, you know, it seems like we're spending a lot of productive energy at figuring out how to avoid taxes and deal with financial issues, and a lot less productive energy on doing things that these companies were meant to do, which is effectively
okay, great. That ain't changing anytime soon.
Solve our biotech issues that are out there. So. Well, it is maybe. I would imagine that Congress is going to see some backlash from it, and I would imagine that there's going to be some regulatory changes coming from all of this. I don't think you can see this many companies just keep moving their headquarters offshore and basically outsourcing all of their productivity gains and all of their income gains and all their intellectual property and have no repercussions.
But do you fault them for doing it? I mean, turn your lens to your industry, right? When you hear bank CEOs over and over again say, just tell us what the regulation is. They want to know what the regulation is because banks by design want to know the rules so they can work differently to get around them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think what we've seen is a continuous effort by regulators to try to stop that. And I think they get more and more draconian through time. Look at what they're doing to our commercial banking industry. It's almost impossible to make loans. In many ways, shapes, and forms. And that's moved a lot of stuff to the shadow banking industry. And, of course, that's the regulatory arb now. But I just look. I think it's becoming much more transparent what people are doing, and I think it's going to be harder and harder to avoid it. Look at places like Switzerland and Monaco and all these other places that have been tax avoidance capitals for years and years and years and decades. They're going after these guys, and I think the governments are going to continue to go after them.
But Brendan, this is not that complicated. It's hard but not complicated. You either got to reduce the tax rate, which is statutory for Congress, or you've got to say we're not going to tax you on worldwide income.
And this is the problem.
Under U.S. reg.
This is the problem. I'm with Steph. You got to dance until the music stops. We cannot change the tune in Washington. Everybody agrees on what we need to do. We need to lower the statutory tax rate, and then we need to, to cut the tax expenditures. I mean, the corporate tax code is basically a vehicle for tax expenditures. Everybody knows this. We are incapable of changing it. I don't know. I'm bewildered.
That's depressing.
That's depressing.